This is the Louie Tee Network.
Who else could it be but me, your man, Louie Tee? Welcome to Lockdown Coverage, week number 6 in the National Football League. Your man Louie Tee covering the entire National Football League like a blanket. New England Patriots, Cincinnati Bengals, Brady making his triumphant return home. First time he's been in the comfy confines of Foxborough since the suspension. So we've seen the Cincinnati Bengals this season and haven't been that impressed. So this looked like a cakewalk for the Patriots, or was it? We'll talk about this in a second. But first, welcome to the Louie Tee Network. And for those of you who haven't subscribed, what are you waiting on? Sub up. Louie Tee Network. It's really simple, man. Great content in 2016 and beyond. We changing the game over here. Come be a part of it. Sub the channel Louie Tee Network. Also, I'm on YouTube, or I've already told you that. How about Facebook? In the Lab Room. It's a Facebook page. I'm just starting to figure out that Facebook Live thing. So I think I'm going to put some things on there soon. So, hey, go ahead and like that page so you can be in tune to what's going on there. And then, of course, I'm on Twitter. And I'm always talking on Twitter, and it's always a good time there. So, hey, get your updates. You know when I'm posting a video because it comes on Twitter. Hey, go ahead and do that. @In the Lab Room is the Twitter handle. So let's jump into this breakdown. And normally I break down games, likes, dislikes, banana in the tailpipe. To me, I made a mistake. I'm going to admit that. I made a mistake here. I don't treat ass whoopings the same as competitive football games. And I made the mistake of thinking this was an ass whooping. So I didn't take notes from the beginning. And I didn't have time to go back and start going likes, dislikes, banana in the tailpipe. I had already gotten too far into the game, and I was just taking sparse notes. I wasn't actually going in detail. So my mistake. I apologize. But this wasn't the ass whooping that I thought. The score was misleading. This was a competitive game. I mean, the Cincinnati Bengals were down one score at 25-17 until literally 6 minutes in the fourth quarter. So I made the mistake of looking at the score, thinking, okay, Patriots whooped ass. You know, they went into the fourth quarter up 11. And I'm thinking the game's done. So, and I never really thought Cincinnati had a shot. So I think that's where I really made my mistake. But this was actually a competitive football game. But again, I treated this like an ass whooping. It was a competitive football game. Shoot me. So, you know what I do when I think it's an ass whooping. It's what I saw from afar. And it's not likes, dislikes, banana and tailpipe, but it's what I saw from afar. So that's all I'm going to be able to give you for this game because, like I said, I thought it was an ass whooping. I was wrong. So let's quickly go over what I saw from afar with the Cincinnati Bengals in this game. Or really, I like to start with the team that won the game when I talk about ass whoopings. So let's start with but this wasn't an ass whooping. So I'm going to start with the road team because I messed up. Let's go with Cincinnati first. Okay, my biggest issue with them right now is they got to be better offensively. They got to finish drives. And it's not necessarily a situation where you got to be better in the red zone. They need to be better in the red zone. They were 2 of 4 in the red zone in this game, and that means you're leaving points on the field. However, I'm not just talking about finishing drives with touchdowns or being better in the red zone. They need to finish drives. Get something. We saw this last week against the Cowboys. Look, they were moving the football. Anybody that watched that Cowboys game knows their problem was they never got great field position. The defense didn't get any stops last week at all until the game was well out of hand. But they didn't get any short fields either because you don't get stops. You don't force punts. You don't force any turnovers, and you didn't force any in this game. You don't get short fields. You don't get short fields. Your team has to drive the length of the field, whether that's a touchback from a kickoff and it's at the 25 and you got to go 75 yards for a touchdown, or the other team punts the football and you get the football all the way deep in your territory, and you got to start at your 10 or your 12 or your 17, and you got to go 83 yards for a touchdown, or you got to go as they did in this game. And so my biggest problem is they got to finish drives. It'd be nice if the defense generated some turnovers. It'd be nice if the defense got more stops. It'd be nice if the defense were more of a participant in this football team's success, or really lack thereof, and they are, but it'd be easier on this offense because Andy Dalton is having to carry the load right now, and he's not getting much help. And we saw it last week against Dallas when they moved the football all the way until midfield, and then they couldn't sustain their drives, and they had to punt the football. Or I thought they should have went for it. You're 2-3 last week. There's no or you're 2-2 going into that game. What are you punting for? Go for it. But that's no here nor there. They got to be better in the red zone. They got to finish drives. I feel like they need to finish drives. They didn't do it in this game. You get all the way down. Listen to this. The Cincinnati Bengals put together a 16-play, 89-yard drive that consumed 9 minutes of the clock in the second quarter. And do you get where I'm going with this? You see what I'm saying here? Listen to this. 89 yards. They had to go the length of the football field. It took them, no chunk plays here. It took them 16 plays to do this. Do you know how hard it is to put together a 16-play drive in the NFL and not screw up and still not come away with points? That's pretty tough to do. I watched two teams put together their longest drive of the season and not come away with points. I watched the Jacksonville Jaguars do the same thing versus the Bears and throw an interception. I watched the Cincinnati Bengals get all the way down to the 1-yard line, 4th and goal from the 1, and couldn't get in. After a 16-play, 89-yard drive that consumed 9 minutes of clock. That's losing football. Damato Pecco on 3rd and goal, if he makes his damn block, it's a touchdown. Stuff happens. Deal with it. Find a way to get in the end zone. They didn't. And that to me is a microcosm of this Cincinnati Bengals team right now. Struggling to do the things that we are accustomed to them doing. They get in the end zone. Do you realize this team hasn't scored more than 23 points in a game this season yet? We're 6 weeks into the season. They haven't had a bye week. So they've played 6 games, and they haven't gotten into the end zone enough times to cross the 24-point threshold. Do you know how common it is to score 24 points in a game in this day and age? It's a passing league now. Do you know how easy it is to score 24 points? You're not going to find many teams in the league that haven't scored over 24 points this season. But the Cincinnati Bengals haven't done that yet. That's a problem. They hit Brady a bunch early in this game. I was impressed with the defense and the pressure that they put on Tom Brady. They didn't sack him a ton, but they hit him a bunch. And when you hit Tom Brady, you get him off his mark, normally you can get him to be flustered a little bit. It didn't work in this game, though. Brady's 29 of 35 for 3 and some change. 3 touchdowns. Only 6 incompletions. Yikes. But they hit him a ton. Way more than they could say about Dak Prescott a week ago. You can't have a safety, guys. You're up 14-10. You're playing good football on the road in Foxborough. You can't have a safety there, Andy. And Andy was playing outstanding football. Offensive line, Andy Dalton, you can't. I don't give a damn whose fault it is. You can't have a safety there. That was the game. Because after the safety, they get the football. They go right down the field. A safety is just like a turnover. It's just as bad as a turnover. Because you give up 2 points, and you give them the ball, and you're going to give up great field position. A safety is just as bad as a turnover. And what did the Patriots do? They took the free kick off the safety, and they marched it right down the field. Gronk got in the end zone. They took the 19-14 lead. You never saw the lead again in this game. You can't give up the safety. It was like giving up 9 points. And to a team like the Patriots in Foxborough, you can't have it happen. You don't get to make those types of mistakes and overcome them. These aren't the Jets. Wrong team in the AFC East. You don't get to make those type of mistakes on the road in that building and get away with it. Let's get to the New England Patriots in this game. And I'll say this is the last thing I'll say. I thought Andy Dalton was sharp in this game. Andy Dalton tried his hardest, made some gorgeous throws, beautiful read option to get in the end zone. I thought Andy Dalton played his ass off, but right now it's just not clicking on all facets of the game for them. They're not getting any contributions from special teams. You're not getting anybody making any plays defensively. When's the last time you got a turnover? When's the last time this defense did something noteworthy? When's the last time this defense stood out and made a play that benefited the offense, i.e. a turnover, i.e. forcing a 3-and-out deep in a team's territory so that you get great field position. When's the last time this team's done that? I can't recall. Let's go to the Patriots quickly. Brady and his bunch, man. Every week, I told you, I want to say last week when I was talking about Brady, him coming back, I said that this may be one of the best supporting casts he's had since 2011 when they went undefeated and had a chance at perfection. And, you know, that was the Randy Moss, Wes Welker crew when they could just do whatever they wanted to do on offense. They had it on cruise control. He's got weapons. And none of the weapons at the receiver position are dynamic, nor do they stand out. But they're weapons that can hurt you. Chris Hogan can hurt you. You fall asleep behind the wheel, 7-Eleven can go to work. We know what Edelman is. He is what he is. He's a playmaker for him. He's the new Wes Welker. Danny Amendola, same thing. He's not a guy that's going to kill you, but he can hurt you if you're not paying attention. I like the Malcolm Mitchell kid out of Georgia, the rookie. He's going to come along just nicely. But the tight end position is a problem. And every week, you just don't know which guy it's going to be. Last week, it was 3 touchdowns from Martellus Bennett. This week, it was Gronk with 2 touchdowns. Getting into the end zone, getting a part of the fray. You don't know what's going to happen in that backfield. Is LeGarrette Blount going to get you this week or not? This week, it happened to be James White catching the football out of the backfield. And we'll talk about him in a second. But Brady and his bunch, they've got weapons at Brady's disposal now. This is a different team offensively. The defense is better than I gave them credit for. I still think this defense is okay, not great. But this defense is better than I thought they were going to be before the season started. Speaking of which, the defense with the safety. And I thought that was the changing point in this game. And I talked about the lack of impactful plays being made by Cincinnati this season and in this game in particular. How about this Patriots defense stepping up and making a huge play? No, they didn't generate a turnover in this game. But what they did do is they held the Cincinnati Bengals down to 17 points. And they got a safety at a time in the game when the Patriots were kind of sleepwalking. Down 14-10. You needed something to turn the tide in this game, and the safety was it. You get the safety. You cut the lead to 2 for the deficit, I should say, to 2. You get the football back to your offense on the free kick on the safety, and they drive right down the field, and they get into the end zone, touchdown to Gronk, and boom, it's 19-14. Game was changed forever after that play. And the defense had a huge hand in that. And this is a defense that, again, I'm not giving them enough credit. And maybe I should be. I feel like they're missing something on that side of the football. Maybe it's a dominant pass rusher. Or I don't know what it is. I don't know because they've got guys at the linebacker position. They've got guys in that secondary who are who are big-time football players, who are playmakers. I'm thinking it's a guy up front that scares me that can get after the quarterback consistently. That's who they're missing, I think. But it doesn't matter. They're getting the job done. And they got it done again in this game, holding the Cincinnati Bengals down to 17 points. And lastly, the emergence of James White. To me, I look at James White as a great big insurance policy. It's like that $500,000 insurance policy for somebody that's broke. You know, if you're a baller, you got the big, huge $2.5 million, insurance policy. You got the $5 million insurance policy. James White is that $1 million insurance policy. He's not too big. He's not too small. He's right in the middle because you're waiting on Dion Lewis. I know a lot of Patriots fans keep telling me, Dion Lewis. Wait till Dion Lewis comes back. What, so he can get hurt again? Guess what the Patriots are doing? This is why Bill Belichick and his group are always 5 steps ahead of everybody else. They're planning for the future. You're playing checkers, they're playing chess. Here's why they're playing chess right now, and you're playing checkers. James White is the insurance policy on Dion Lewis. Hell, they can't wait till Dion Lewis comes back, but guess what? When he decides to go down with another torn ACL, when he decides to come back and pull a hamstring, when he decides to come back and tear his pec muscle, guess who will be waiting in the wings to take over and you won't have a drop-off? That's right, James White. 2 touchdown grabs in this game. He looked ultra explosive and he looked dynamic out in space. Made some plays. They're grooming him to be that guy. And yet, trust and believe, they want Deion Lewis back. But how long can you get Deion Lewis to stay healthy? He's a rental to me. He's a rental property. And he's not going to be along for the ride for very long, okay? James White is the guy that you should be focused on. Because at the end of the day, that's the guy that's going to end up helping you win ball games in December and into January. Probably not Deion Lewis. Big game for James White. Thought he did some good things with a couple of touchdown grabs in this football game. So, with that said, let me check Twitter and see if there are any comments on Twitter. Really fast. I doubt it, but I'm going to do my due diligence and check anyhow. See, you got a couple of comments. See if any of them pertain to this. No, they don't. So let's see. Quickly, my man BE says, what are you looking forward to for the game tonight? I'm just looking for a Cardinals win. Doesn't have to be pretty. I don't really give a damn what it looks like. The thing I really would like to see is Carson Palmer look sharp. He hasn't looked sharp this season, period. And his offense hasn't been overwhelming at all. Outside of the Tampa Bay game, Cardinals haven't been impressive at all. And you're at home. The home field advantage doesn't look the same. Jets are reeling. Put those boys down nice and early. Make this thing a blowout. No contest. That's what I'm looking for. But again, at this point, you're the Cardinals. You don't give a damn what it looks like. Just like last week, you don't care what it looks like. You just want to win. You want to get back to 500 on the season. I already told you, the Rams aren't hanging around for the long haul because they got quarterback issues. You want to give some competition to the Seattle Seahawks, win this football game. Don't let them run away and hide with this division, because if you don't win this game, that's exactly what they're going to do. You want somebody to hang around and be there when they decide to slip up and lose a game they shouldn't lose. You need to be there waiting in the wings to take that opportunity and run with it. You got to win this game. So we'll see. At the end of the day, that is it for Patriots and Bengals. I thank you guys for joining me and watching this. And Patriots get it done, 5-1. Bengals go to 2-4. And you know what? I was having a conversation with my man BST last night, and he said, "Look, man, I'm not down on my Bengals yet, man. I'm not. A lot of people are nailing our coffin shut. I'm not willing to do that yet. Ben Roethlisberger is going to be out for an unspecified amount of time. Just had some kind of surgery done on what was it? Torn meniscus. So all of a sudden, this division is open. It's wide open. We knew the Ravens weren't for real when they started 3-0. They had played the Browns, the Jaguars, and the Bills when the Bills weren't hitting off of anything. We knew that was a phantom 3-0. Now they're 3-3. This division is right there. The Steelers are 4-2. You're 2 games out of first place. Now, if you want to count the loss to the Steelers, you're 3 games out of first place. But you still got those boys one more time at the crib. What I'm basically saying is, they were competitive in this game. They went into Foxborough and they were game for about 3.5 quarters. They're not dead yet. I think he's right. I think BST is right. Man, my man Brown Shoes is spot on. They're not dead yet. But I need to see some life. I need to see some resiliency out of them, and I need to see it fast. I need to see this offense explode for 30-some-odd points in the game, and I need the defense to start generating some turnovers, getting some stops. Haven't seen that yet. And until I do, I don't know if I'm buying this version of the Cincinnati Bengals. I'll tell you this much. It's nowhere close to the Cincinnati Bengals of the last 3 years. But we'll see. First time they've been under 500 this early in the season. It's not good. Not good at all. But that's going to do it for me here. If it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, we cover it all here in the Lab Room on Lockdown Coverage. Remember, we're changing the game one live feed at a time. Hey, Patriots, you're playing good football, but just letting you know, right behind you is the red-hot Buffalo Bills, and they already beat you once this season. I know you didn't have Brady, but you didn't have Brady when you beat Miami. You didn't have Brady when you beat and blanked the Houston Texans. Look out for the Bills, man. They only 1 game out of first place. So keep playing ball if you're the Patriots. See what happens. I'll see you guys a little bit later on. Have a good one.